This program contains images and voices of First Nations people who have died, and includes graphic content and extreme coarse language that may disturb some viewers. In the Northern Territory, a private security force is expanding.
What are these fuckers doing with dogs?
Private security companies are now being paid millions of taxpayer dollars to police the streets.
Just being here is very important. Look at that.
But this industry has a troubled history.
I thought I'm gonna die. But when he was strangling me.
Gave her an uppercut right in the middle of her temple, right there.
The security is completely underskilled, unqualified. Just how they're treating Aboriginal people is just absolutely disgusting.
He just won't give up, he keeps resisting.
They held my son down onto the floor, made him stop breathing.
This is a story about private security doing police work.
There's some serious concerns that this is a form of second-tier policing.
I feel like here it is policing, it's private policing, and I think that is hugely alarming.
I seen what you guys been doing with a lot of Aboriginal people around here, how you been treat them like a dog.
I'm driving around Darwin CBD with someone who knows these streets well.
So we've got your crowd controllers and bouncers here. You've also got guards in the shopping centre here, and we've also got a street patrol going as well, which is basically 24 hours with Territory Protective Services.
Kent Powell was one of those security guards. He believes it's the toughest gig in the Northern Territory.
Are you able to pinpoint anything that you've seen or experienced for us?
Assaults, and they're daily. Assaults on us. I've seen homemade crossbows, tomahawks, axes, screwdrivers, machetes. Machetes are the big one up here. Oh, I've seen a toilet brush sharpened. We would try and approach a situation as best we could to try and de-escalate anything that could happen, and half the time it ends up us coming off second best.
The Northern Territory has the highest crime rates in Australia. Last year, more than 10,000 assaults were reported to police.
Oh shit, dude.
That's 5 times the rate of New South Wales. There's also about 200 weapons offences each month. Property crimes have also increased.
Real fucking mad cunts, eh? You call the cops say don't get involved. The cops say fucking do nothing. This is what Darwin has to put up with. You go to fuel your fucking car up, and these fuckheads are smashing the fucking... I'm sorry for swearing. Watch out, bro, he's gonna rock your car!
What you don't see or hear is that in the Northern Territory, the majority of victims of violent crime are Aboriginal people.
And most of it is taking place in remote and regional parts of the Territory. But it's here in Darwin that the Northern Territory government is investing the most money in street patrols. These patrols are run by a company called Territory Protective Services, or TPS. The locals call them the Blue Shirts. They're on these streets day and night, 7 days a week. Kent Powell worked as a Blue Shirt.
The antisocial behaviour, the intoxication on the streets with some of the itinerants that live around the city. It's widely known that drinking alcohol is not acceptable in the city. There's areas that they can go that are out of the public eye.
Kent tells me the TPS patrol steps in when police aren't available.
I know that our police force is horribly understaffed. And when you deal with one problem, it takes a group of them off the road for 2 to 3 hours. They've got to process them, you know, and that's why TPS are on hand. And personally, I think that they're doing a good job.
In the bright light of day, the blue shirts show a friendly face, getting around on a custom-branded golf buggy. Some people are happy to see them around town because they feel safer. They're a highly visible security presence, and that's the point. These guards are paid for with public money. Known as City Safe, the program was set up in December 2019 to specifically patrol the CBD. And last year, this idea was extended to Darwin's outer suburbs, Cromer and Malak, as well as Palmerston. That patrol is called the Public Order Response Unit, or PORU, and it's run by a security company called Neptune NT. The PORU looks more like a police force, with security dogs and stab vests. The NT government spends tens of millions of dollars on private security each year, but the government won't tell us exactly how much goes towards street patrols.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I can see them all the way at the end here.
We asked to ride along with the city safeguards and PORU, but the government rejected our request. So I spend some time on the streets, watching the guards at work.
Oh yeah, the buggy's driving off down there now.
The City Safe Patrol approaches a group of men under a tree in a laneway. One guard tells them to clean up. The men start to move away. Another pair of guards pull up beside a woman sleeping on a bench. They spend several minutes waking her up. They then walk her across the road towards the bus stop. This might seem like normal security guard work, but here on public land, it's unclear if the guards have the power to do this. John Patterson is the head of the peak body for Aboriginal community-controlled health services in the Northern Territory. He worries the patrols are harming the most vulnerable members of the community.
You would have seen on your visit a number of people in the streets, perhaps got nowhere to bed down of a night time. They're probably here from remote communities for health, visits to hospitals for the acute end. They're probably here for, Centrelink benefit type arrangements or meetings, education.
On any given night, there are hundreds of rough sleepers in Darwin.
Sleeping rough, they can't find, they perhaps don't have the funding to, rent a accommodation in a hostel for a week or so. So the alternative is to, sleep in the streets, giving them the rough treatment. That's not on.
Confidential government data obtained through Freedom of Information reveals that in June alone, Darwin's public patrols moved on 283 people. Almost everyone at this soup kitchen in the CBD has a story about the blue shirts.
Not even let put you elbow down, relaxing, waiting, Even in the park here, where you can't even sleep here.
As we film, the blue shirts drive by on the buggy.
What do you think about the security in town?
These men are happy to talk, but don't want us to show their faces.
They spoil you from sleep and having a good rest. Then you can't hardly go back to sleep. You have to walk all night to get back to that sleeping mode. They even come and spill your grog, They don't ask you and say, oh, can you get this grog and take it over there? They grab it and then you go and spill it and you spend your money on it. We don't mind the police doing that, but the police doesn't do that anymore. It's a blue shirt mob that do that.
TPS didn't respond to questions about moving on rough sleepers or tipping out alcohol.
So tell me about the security around town.
In the street and...
Later, on the streets, Harold tells me the blue shirts move him out of the CBD at night.
And they want to sleep in the light, in the bright light. And security telling people to going right over down in the darkness, in the bushes. Why is that? Why? That's not, that's not right. So should we doing job not properly.
Why don't you think it's good to send people out to the darkness?
Yeah, so I need to sleep in here, in the street, so camera can see. And when something wrong, the people walking in the street, so they can see something wrong with me, so they can call ambulance or something.
On another night, I meet up with Leah Potter, who started the soup kitchen.
Help yourself, come around.
She's handing out extra food and blankets in a laneway.
Where are you guys sleeping, Uncle? Where are you sleeping? Yeah.
At the bottom.
How long are you?
Around there, but they want security, they come around and they say, well, get up and what this.
The security come around?
Yeah.
And they move you on, do they?
Yeah.
No matter how much security we've got, there's nowhere for people to go to get help for substance abuse or alcohol treatment. By 8 o'clock tonight, all the dry out shelters are full. People will say, oh, they've done a great job. Like crime's really reduced in the city. If you look at the statistics, it has not. What's reduced is the visibility of Indigenous people on the street.
The NT government has said the program improves the safety and amenity of the CBD. What I want to understand is, given they're not police, what powers do the private security guards actually have? Is what they're doing even lawful?
Without seeing the contract, it's difficult to know what the scope of their powers is.
We were on the ground for 2 weeks and we heard numerous reports of people being moved on by these security guards. Is this something they are allowed to do?
There's no law that enables them to move on people. The laws relating to move on are to be administered by the police, so they don't have authority. So they're using their image as police, their uniform, to enforce that power that doesn't appear to have a legal basis.
Law professor Thalia Anthony has researched private security in Australia, including the Northern Territory.
I feel like here it is private policing because they are doing the work of police, but they're not employed by the state, they're not accountable. So there would at least need to be legislation that enables private security to operate patrols.
And does that exist?
No.
For 6 months, we've been investigating security companies in Darwin. What we've found is disturbing. CCTV and phone footage show violent altercations between guards and the public, with few repercussions.
Leave my brother. Tell him to let it go.
This video is from January this year. A guard and an Aboriginal woman are in an altercation that's escalated quickly.
Get away from me. I'll do it. Get away. There you go. I got it on a video.
The woman is trying to get to her nephew on the ground and is repeatedly dragged away.
Oh, look there. Dragging my Nandi. I got it you in a video. I'll take this to office. Do you manager?
These guards are part of the City Safe Patrol, the Blue Shirts, funded by taxpayers. Four Corners understands no action was taken after a complaint was made to the government. TPS did not respond to our questions about the incident. The companies that patrol the streets for the government also work privately, providing bouncers at nightclubs and security at shopping malls. One of the TPS guards who dragged the woman has also been involved in another incident, this time working the door at the Motel Loco nightclub. A patron has been ejected. The TPS guard uses a dangerous chokehold and pulls him to the ground. The man appears to lose consciousness. They pin him to the ground, arms behind his back, for over 30 minutes. They eventually release him, and then another club patron is ejected. The guard again uses a chokehold. The first man is left unattended for 2 minutes. A bystander puts him in the recovery position and checks his pulse. All up, he's on the ground for over 40 minutes. The Territory's ambulance service has no record of an ambulance being called for the man. After 50 minutes, he stumbles away. At the time of this nightclub incident, the TPS guard who used the chokehold was working unlicensed. He was later convicted for working 41 shifts without a license, but no action was taken over his use of the chokehold. The police and TPS didn't respond to our questions over the incident. Neither did the security regulator, Licensing NT. The Motel Loco nightclub didn't respond to questions. The other company receiving public money for street patrols, Neptune NT, also has a troubling record. They provide security here at the Palmerston Shopping Centre. This video was shot just months before the company started its government contract. First, the guard kicks the boy and pins him to the ground. The guard again grabs the boy and throws him onto the road. The boy's head hits the bitumen. The guard sits on the boy, using his body weight to hold him down.
We've been able to figure out that the incident was filmed from the YMCA drop-in centre just over there. The YMCA refused to comment, but they have told us the incident was referred to police.
Police confirmed no one was charged. Neptune NT have not responded to our questions. The shopping centre wouldn't comment on the incident. The guard who kicked the boy still holds a security licence. I'm on my way to meet a young woman who's staying in Darwin from the remote community of Pepperminati.
Auntie Carol, where do you think Jessie is today?
She's probably in Palmerston with her cousin.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed, we'll probably find her there.
I've been told she has a story to share about another Neptune NT security guard. With the help of her Auntie Carol, I meet her at a family member's home.
So you grew up in Pepe? Is that where?
Yeah. My name is Jocelyn Punjali. I love chilling with family, go shopping, yeah.
I've seen some footage of you at Karama Shopping Plaza. Tell me about that incident. What happened?
Well, anyway, I was walking in Karama Shopping Centre, trying to buy food after, from drinking with family. But the security wouldn't let me in.
It's the lead up to Christmas 2022, and a guard has ejected Jesselyn from the Karama Shopping Plaza in Darwin's North. They argue, and the guard pulls off her backpack. At one point, he shoves her. She then throws her thong at him. He pursues her across the car park.
I thought the security wasn't following me, but he was just right behind. I was scared, yeah. He's bigger than me.
She makes it to the bus stop where Lazarus Murray is sitting.
All I saw in the corner of my eye, there's that lady getting chased by one of the security guards. I thought to myself, oh, this not going to end up well. She came in and said, oh, help me, brother. Help me, that security guard after me.
Jesselyn is no longer on private property, and the guard is now beyond his jurisdiction. It appears she spits at him.
And all of a sudden, I just saw that security guard came up and started swinging.
I just seen a big fist coming right at me,
Gave her an uppercut right in the middle of her temple, right there. I had to drag the security guard over right with the car park there in the middle there and tell him, hey, enough is enough. I think you've done enough damage.
The ambulance arrives and takes Jesselyn to the hospital. Police did not respond to questions about the incident, but we've confirmed that no charges have been laid.
Thinking back to that moment and what happened to you, how does it make you feel?
Really scared. Still feel the fear, yeah.
So when you see security around, how does it make you feel?
Uncomfortable. Black people, they're being fed up because of security, telling them what to do, They should be there to stop the violence, but they're bringing the violence to black fella.
We've managed to track down the guard who hit Jesselyn in the face. I want to understand why he lost control. He's nervous, but he wants to tell his side of the story.
I was just doing one of my normal days, just patrolling, and I come across a lady who was drinking alcohol out the front main doors, and I've told her, "Oh, we can't drink here, it's private property, and it's too many, like just what we normally say, it's too many families, too many kids." And as I've gotten her to the bus stop, she's spat right on my face, so she spat like everywhere on there, and I've absolutely snapped.
Have you ever done something like that before?
No, I've never hit anyone ever.
How did you feel in the moment?
I've felt a huge wave of regret. I've gone into the pub to grab ice and first aid, and I've offered her ice and like to bandage up where I had hurt her, and she had refused.
You're still working as a security guard?
Yep.
Are you worried you're going to snap again?
No, I've talked to my bosses that I refuse to do shopping centres or intervene with people anymore.
Christian says he informed his employer, Neptune NT, shortly after the incident.
The only thing they really cared about was if my camera was on, which in the heat of the moment I had forgotten to turn my camera on, and they're just like, "Oh, don't worry about it."
Christian had worked at the Kramer shopping plaza for about 6 months. He says he was doing long hours, up to 64 hours a week. A month before the Kramer incident, Christian had intervened when his co-worker was stabbed. In the Northern Territory, security guard courses usually run for around 2 weeks and can be done partly online.
2 weeks worth of training is not enough. Unless you have like fighting background where you can defend yourself, you're a sitting duck. A security guard is just a normal person on the streets, and we're just chucked to do what police should be doing. We're just cheaper police officers, I guess, with a lot less powers.
We asked Neptune NT about the Kramer incident. They didn't respond, nor did shopping centre management. Christian kept his security licence. Licensing NT did not respond to questions. Jessalyn Punjili was hit in the face almost a year ago, but I'm about to find out not much has changed.
So we've been told something's happened at the Kramer shopping plaza. Oh yeah, this is it here.
I arrive on the scene to discover the Northern Territory's Children's Commissioner has witnessed an altercation between a Neptune NT security guard and an Aboriginal man.
So I was parked over here, got out of my car and was confronted by what I can only describe as an assault by a security guard on a local Aboriginal man.
In her role, Nicole Hux advocates for the rights of children in the NT. This is her local shopping centre.
And he was pleading with them. He was saying, "I'm an Aboriginal man, this is racist. This is racist, the way you're treating me like a dog."
What Nicole witnessed was captured on CCTV.
They then proceeded to put his arms behind his back and push him to the ground.
I find out the man's name is Tremaine Riley. He and his family are from the Aboriginal community of Borroloola in the Gulf of Carpentaria. They're visiting Darwin to catch up with friends and family.
And we ran over there. And I did see Tremaine on the ground. Yeah, he was saying, let me go, because I was thinking they gotta bash him, you know. That's why we sort of went and intervened there. Yeah.
A few days later, I find Tremaine Riley.
Tremaine?
Yes.
Hi, I'm Brooke from the ABC.
Yeah.
Now you were here.
Tremaine says he'd been refused entry to the shopping centre before the guard pushed him to the ground.
grabbed me by my hand and twisted me on my foot, tripped me, and threw me down, and then I thought I'm gonna die. No, I couldn't breathe.
There's another reason Tremaine was terrified. He was there on the night his own uncle died at the hands of security guards 10 years ago in Katherine. Now the same age his uncle was at the time of his death, Tremaine doesn't want to speak about it for cultural reasons. I'm on my way to Katherine to find out more about what happened to Tremaine's uncle back in 2013.
Police communications. Can we have the police to the Katherine Hotel, please? Yeah, mate. A patron just attacked my two security guards.
My son was a good father to the children, and he was a good father to his parents and his family, grandmother, grandma, and everyone else. My son was a kind person. He helped everyone, welcomed them in his home. He was good, my son.
It's a Wednesday night at Kirby's bar at the Katherine Hotel. A 30-year-old man, Mr. King, is drinking and socialising at the bar with friends. He's approached by security and asked to leave.
All they could do is grab their arms and take them out and tell them go home. That's all. There's nothing wrong with that.
He lashes out with his fists towards the guards. There's a violent struggle. Eventually, Mr. King is pulled to the ground. The two guards hold him down. An off-duty staff member calls 000.
Has anyone been hurt? No, but the fellas are about trying to restrain. He just won't give up. He keeps resisting. That's all good. Any weapons? Not that I'm aware of.
The first guard has Mr. King in a headlock. The other puts his weight on his torso. Despite his pleas, the guards do not release him. He repeatedly tells them he can't breathe.
That's all good.
They pin him down for more than 7 minutes. When they arrive, police have to tell the guards to get off him. CPR doesn't work.
He's put pressure on him. Made him stop breathing. That's why I can keep talking about him. I still think of him all the time. They just hold him down. They never let him breathe, which was sad. goes over and over in my head all the time. Every time I go away, I still think of that video footage.
The two security guards, Tim Herman and Sean Clark, were charged with manslaughter and sent to trial by jury in 2014. Eunice and her family attended court every day of the trial. The two guards were found not guilty.
I was mad, I was screaming and crying.
So knowing what was able to happen to your son, are you worried that might happen again?
Something like that could happen again to someone else, to anyone, whoever.
Sean Clark told Four Corners that he regrets Mr. King's death every day, and he hasn't worked in the security industry since. Tim Herman couldn't be reached for comment.
Yeah, today was heartbreaking. I could really feel how sad the family were that the two guys walked free. And, 10 years on, I really want to know what's changed during that time.
A 2016 coronial inquest into Mr. King's death found he died from asphyxiation, which occurred during his restraint by Herman and Clark. The coroner noted the guard's training was deficient. Since Mr. King's death, training has been updated. They now have to learn more about the risks of restraints and sign a document indicating they understand how dangerous they can be. But the National Training Regulator still receives complaints about the quality of security courses in the NT. Back in Darwin, I want to know who's accountable when things go wrong on a publicly funded street patrol. Four Corners is not suggesting that all guards are acting unlawfully. The incidents we've uncovered are concerning.
For sure.
I've been trying to get interviews with the Chief Minister Natasha Files and the Police Minister Kate Warden. They haven't responded to my requests, and now they're not replying to my emails or calls at all. And then I hear this. The Police Minister on Darwin Commercial Radio criticising Four Corners.
It's appalling behaviour by those journalists. And they come to the territory and then they leave our community in turmoil. Whether it's security guards or our police, they have got an incredibly tough job as it is, without those journalists coming along and making it even harder for them and stirring up trouble in our community.
The Minister also defended the street patrols after the Northern Territory Police Association called them cheap police.
Those security contracts have been in place for quite some time, Katie, and if there's complaints about them, they already would come to police if they allege, unlawful behaviour.
But if you want to make a complaint, it's not easy, especially for First Nations people whose first or second language may not be English. You can lodge a complaint with Licensing NT. Last year, they carried out 12 investigations and cancelled or suspended 6 licences. They also have the power to refer matters to the police. But confirmed to Four Corners, they've made no referrals in the past 5 years. The City Safe Patrol is jointly funded by the Darwin City Council, but it was the brainchild of the Northern Territory government. The council initially rejected the idea, but then, under pressure from the government, allowed the patrols to operate. It was described in confidential documents as quasi-law and order. I asked Lord Mayor Convert-Scarlett who's responsible for oversight of the guards.
They don't have any powers. They don't administer our bylaws. They can't legally. The only thing they do is they detect a problem.
So who has oversight of what they're doing on
The
council
Northern
land?
Territory Government has oversight what the patrol do. But as I said before, we're working very closely with the government.
So many people have told us that the City Safe Patrol are moving people. On what legal basis are they allowed to do this?
I don't know. You have to ask the Northern Territory Police and the Northern Territory Government.
It's time to put some questions to the Northern Territory's Chief Minister.
Good morning.
With my request for an interview ignored, my only option is to go to a press conference.
Brooke Fry here from Four Corners. Why are you outsourcing frontline police work in the Northern Territory to private security companies?
We have our hard-working police force, but we also have public housing safety officers, transport safety officers, and we do work with private security to ensure we have a safe, vibrant community.
Is it lawful that these security guards manhandle people in a public space?
So in terms of private security guards, they are licensed, and we also have the Ombudsman that can provide oversight if a government contract is being used. So there's certainly checks and balances in place. So we certainly don't want to see any misbehaviour by those that work in this space.
We have vision of people that have been manhandled by these security guards, and the security guards involved continue to have their licence.
So you're making an allegation there?
No, we have CCTV of this.
So I would urge you to forward that vision to the appropriate authorities. Thank you very much.
Earlier this year, 2 guards from the City Safe Public Patrol were charged with aggravated assault. The Northern Territory Government remains committed to its use of private security on public streets and is moving to increase their powers.
The public is in the dark as to why governments are making these decisions, and I think that's concerning when we're shifting such a huge apparatus in the Northern Territory, which is policing, to a private body.
Stop the punitive, stop the pushing them off, clearing them off the streets. They're humans, they have the same rights as you and I have, and they ought to be treated accordingly.
They should be there guiding people, you know, look aftering people from bad people. Like they should be, you know, kind to Aboriginal people, you know. They are there to help